Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Monday, November 29th at 7:15 p.m. here in sunny California. We've got some stuff to talk about tonight. I'm going to start with Solana, and then we're going to go back to Bitcoin, XRP, BCH, THETA token, and TFUEL. We're going to see something, and hopefully we're going to look at Chili's, Rune, and Sand. I want to show you something that I think is important here. So Solana, first of all, Solana is super strong in terms of its fundamental value. The fundamentals of Solana are super strong. Secondly, the technicals of Solana are super strong too, but we're seeing something here that I think is important. So taking a look at, taking a look at this chart over here, we had this massive breakout. If we start from the bottom and go to the top, we made 5,700% over a period of 147 days. Then we needed to consolidate, and consolidate we did. We went down a total of 67% over a period of 56 days. Really, a little bit more than that. A period of about 63 days. And then we had another wave up. You could stop it here, but I want to take it all the way to the top so far. And it's been about 1,200%. So first we exploded 5,700%. Then we contracted 67%. And then we exploded another 1,200%. The question is Solana at its top? Well, there's a couple things I want to show you here. First thing is we've had diminishing returns on these breakouts here. So this breakout here, 5,700%, and then this next breakout is only 1,200%. So 5,700 and then 1,200%. And in actuality, the second breakout here really is two breakouts. We get one and then we kind of pull back, then we get another one and we kind of pull back. And so if you actually look at those two individual breakouts separately, we did 834%, and then we did about another 122%. And so we're getting diminishing returns here, which means that Solana is running out of steam. Now, if we look at the RSI here, you're going to see why. The RSI topped out all the way back here in April. After that, we made a lower high here. And once we made this lower high here, we've got two lower lows, a lower high, and a lower low. So, this here was already the first sign that the energy was leaving the wine. When we hit here, and then we've got these basically lower high and then lower lows, that just confirms what we've already begun to see here, that all the way back here at this top, the market was way overbought, number one. And so the market, cooled off and had another epic rise, but this was the top of the market in terms of momentum. Now we're getting diminishing returns. Now, if we go over to the Bitcoin chart, what we're seeing is we saw the same thing happen earlier this year, right? I mean, you had this huge wave here, boom, and then pull back. Then another one, boom, but it's smaller, pull back. Then another one, it's barely, and then another little one, right? We're getting these little diminishing returns. We're getting these diminishing returns. So first, we explode 305%, and then the second one is only like 100%, and then the third one is like 40%, and then the last one is like 29, 30%. So you see what we're doing? 300, 100, 40, 29. So we're getting these diminishing returns, and that was a sign that Bitcoin was sputtering, that it was, it was hitting the top, it was topping out, and we were going to correct soon. And then simultaneously, if we look at the RSI, here was the top. This looks almost exactly like Solana. Here was the top of Bitcoin in terms of RSI, in terms of the momentum. It was way back here on January 4th. And then we got a lower high. And at the same time, we got a higher high in the price action. And then another lower high, and then a higher high, but it was only a little bit higher. And then another lower high, and then a higher high, but it was barely higher. It was sputtering, right? So if you look at Solana, Solana's RSI is doing the same thing that Bitcoin's RSI did. And that means that the returns here are sputtering. So what are we seeing? If we're seeing diminishing returns, then this rise is like 5,500%, and this rise is like 884%, and this rise is like 138%. We can get another rise here from this bottom, and we probably will, but it's got to be less than 138%. It most likely will be less than 138%, which means we probably won't even touch the top of this line, guys. I mean, at most, I think we could get 70% out of that spike. This is arbitrary, but I'm going to put an arbitrary line here and say that's the top for Solana, $300, which is still 50% higher than it is. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to hit whatever that top is, and it's going to have to contract 60 to 80%. And so if it contracts 60%, that puts our floor here. And if it contracts 80%, that puts our floor here. So if you can hold through that, you're golden. Or if you want to take profits around $300 or on the way to, I mean, if you get to 250, 275, and by the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I do not hold Solana. I wish I did, but one of my rules is I don't buy into a pump. So, and especially when I'm seeing diminishing returns, I don't buy right now. And so if it comes down within this box, somewhere between 61 and 120, I'll buy it in the middle of this box. I could put like an arbitrary line here around $85 and say that would be my buy target for Solana. Now, I could be totally wrong. I mean, this thing could explode and break up to its target of $735 here. It's just once I start seeing lower lows in the RSI like this, there's just no indicator. The indicators are not leading me to see any type of major breakout for Solana anytime soon. I mean, it just needs to consolidate. That's all. And you know what? It's healthy for an asset to need to consolidate. Now, why did I start with Solana? I typically start with Bitcoin, and then from there we kind of extrapolate what's happening in the whole market. I think I wanted to start with Solana because I wanted to start with this concept of diminishing returns, because we're seeing the inverse of that happening across the market right now. So for instance, let's come over to Bitcoin. Let's look at this, see if you could see this. So we had this first pullback, and it was 55%. Then we had this second little pullback, and it was 25%. And now we've had this third little pullback, and it's only 22%. So these pullbacks are diminishing. We're getting diminishing returns, but in the opposite way, we're getting diminishing pullbacks here. If I jump over to BCH, it's even more clear. The first one was 76%. The second one was 41%. The third one is 27%. You know, we see it here with TFUEL. The first one was 71%. The second one was 49%. The third one was 31%. We see it here with THETA token, right? 78%, and then 53%, and then 34%. It's all over the market. Every asset has done it. Every asset, and I didn't chart it for every asset, but it's happening all over the market. And what we're seeing, basically, this is a daily chart, not a weekly chart. I mean, we're going to see the same thing here on on XRP. We had a 74% pullback. And then we got a 39% pullback. And now we got a 34% pullback. So it's a diminishing return. And then secondly, the RSI is beginning to trend upward on everything. See, the RSI is trending upward. We go to BTC, the RSI is turning and it's trending upward now. And so while Solana is breaking down and sputtering the way Bitcoin was on the way up, the rest of the market is sputtering from the bottom. And it's having trouble. Basically, the bears are dying is what we're looking at. The bears are losing steam. They're losing power, and the bulls are gathering strength. And, you know, as I said, we cannot have an infinite progression of red candles. Neither can we have an infinite bear market. I mean, if you look at this, how long do you think the bears are going to last? I mean, really, the pullbacks, let's say if it started here, it's already been 231 days for THETA token. And so I think the market is in recovery right now. I believe the rest of the crypto market is in strong recovery, and I think we're going to see a breakout soon. And I know I've been expecting the breakout since mid-October. You know, at what point are you going to be wrong? Well, I'm wrong when the whole market breaks down, but the whole market is not broken down. I mean, even though we've consolidated for longer, this consolidation pattern is a breakout pattern. And so, you know, Chili's, I mean, the top of the market for Chili's is $19. And so, I mean, this is crazy. Look how long it's been under the red band there. And so, you know, I love to do this, and I'll give you one more of these. But if we start from the break above the whole suite indicator and take that fractal and correlate it with the break above the whole suite indicator, that takes us above our $20 target. Now, a fractal is a fractal. It's not a guarantee that it's going to do that, but it's simply an indication that this market has taken so long. Look how long we've been in consolidation here. Chili's has been in consolidation for 266 days. And so it's primed. It's primed. Now, I mean, a diminishing return is a diminishing return. At a certain point, for all of these assets, we'll see diminishing returns. The reason I like looking at these macro charts on the weekly is because you can see the pullbacks coming. Like looking at this SOL chart, you can see it's telegraphing that it's running out of steam. The RSI is telling us. The MACDs are trying to turn bearish. We're getting diminishing returns in these pullbacks. So it's telegraphing. It's telling us ahead of time, look, I've been telegraphing and telling you that I'm running out of steam. I'm going to need to consolidate. And once it starts to consolidate, it's going to need to consolidate for a while. But that's good for us. And let me tell you, this is good for me personally because I don't own Solana. And I want to. But pulling back here into between $61 and $120 is great. I don't have to buy it at $200. That's great. That's a great opportunity for people like me to get into an asset that we missed. And so, but so many other things. It's the same thing with Sandbox, right? I mean, it's yet to be seen because we just hit the top. I mean, that has to be the top. I mean, that RSI is beastly. If we break above that, that's going to surprise me greatly. But what I'm expecting is for Sand to make a lower high here. And then wherever the top of this move is, the next one's going to be a little smaller. The next one's going to be a little smaller. You know, we still could make it to the top of this line somewhere. We still could make it to $16 actually, because we only made its first top is here, actually. You know, if we think about that, the first Bitcoin top was here, but we still had another 55%. We were still 55% from the top when the RSI hit its top. So if that's the case for Sand, if we go up 55%, and this is completely arbitrary, by the way, That would take us up to $13. So yeah, we actually could still very well hit this target with sand of $16. But once we hit that target, once we get there and we get the diminishing returns and we go into consolidation, I'm expecting a 60 to 83% pullback. And if we get that 80% pullback, that'd be beautiful to be able to buy it again at $3, right? So I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. Overall, the crypto market looks beastly right now. And, you know, this whole thing about all of these pullbacks and, you know, all this stuff is taking longer than we expected. It just shakes out the weak hands. I don't even like saying that because that sounds like a criticism. Listen, you need to do whatever you need to do. Scratch what I just said about shaking out the weak hands. You need to do whatever you need to do to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. And you know what? In January of 2018, I was the quote-unquote weak hands that needed to be shaken out of the market because I wasn't sleeping at night. I was not waking in joy. I was not sleeping in peace. And I was not walking in love. So I had to step back from the market and cool off and say, you know what? I'm going to have to sit this one out and I'll have to catch it the next time around. And I took most of 2018 off to try to come back to my center, to regain my sense of self, to reconnect with my community, my family, my vocation. And so, you know, if that's you in this season, don't be ashamed of that. Do what you need to do for you and for your family. And don't be ashamed of that. Crypto's not going anywhere. And so if you need to take a break, I feel like I need to say that because it can sound so judgmental. We're shaking out the weak hands. And nah. Scratch that. Do what's best for you and your family. Don't chase money. Don't chase crypto. All right, that's all I got for you today. Heard my Patreon link is broken, but wanted to let you know that I will be making available 4 more spots on the 1st of December. 4 more premium spots will be made available. And those 4 premium spots, I'll tell you more about it in tomorrow's video. But they will be available on December 1st on a first-come, first-served basis. So, with that being said, do me a favor and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, leave me a comment. And above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.